It was just past midnight in downtown Chicago. The wind howled through the narrow alleyways between old brick buildings, and the city lights flickered through frosted windows. Most people were asleep. But inside a cramped, dimly lit studio apartment above a rundown laundromat, a soft humming noise broke the silence. At the center of the room sat a girl, no older than 19, bent over an ancient sewing machine. Her name was Emily Clark. Her hands were blistered, eyes bloodshot, and her fingers trembled with exhaustion. But she couldn't stop. Rent was due in 36 hours, and she was $280 short. She had no family, no safety net, just a dream to become a fashion designer and a burning will to survive. Each stitch she made was a silent prayer. She was patching up old denim jackets and creating handmade tote bags to sell online. Every cent mattered. Meanwhile, just a few blocks away, in a luxury penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan, Richard Wallace, a white billionaire in his early 50s, was pouring himself a drink. He was CEO of a global retail empire, known for high-end fashion and luxury lifestyle brands. But tonight, even the view of a glittering skyline and the scent of aged scotch couldn't fill the silence that echoed through his marble hallways. Richard was lonely. His success came at a cost, family estranged, friends few, and joy buried beneath layers of routine. The next morning, Richard's personal driver dropped him off at a warehouse his company had recently bought. He decided to walk back to his car through the old streets of Chicago he once grew up in, before the suits, money, and status. That's when he saw her. Through a dusty, cracked window above the laundromat, he caught a glimpse of a girl hunched over a sewing machine, surrounded by scraps of cloth and fabric. He paused. Something tugged at him, an old memory, maybe. His mother, who used to sew late into the night just to keep food on the table. Overwhelmed by curiosity, Richard climbed the stairwell and knocked on the fragile wooden door. Startled, Emily opened it just a crack. "Can I help you?" she asked, wary. I saw you sewing. I used to watch my mom do the same. I just wanted to ask, what are you working on?" Richard's voice was soft, and there was no arrogance in his tone. Emily looked unsure, but something in his eyes made her trust him. "I sell bags and jackets on Etsy." Trying to make rent, she said plainly, wiping her forehead. "It's not much, but it's all I've got." Richard stood in silence for a second. "May I come in?" She hesitated, then nodded. Inside, he looked around. The apartment was tiny, worn down, but full of life. Her sketches were pinned to the walls. Handcrafted pieces lay neatly folded. Despite the hardship, her work had soul. "These are beautiful," he said genuinely, running his fingers over the stitching. "You made all this?" "Yeah," she replied, a little embarrassed. "I want to study design one day. Maybe open my own brand." Richard didn't say much. He simply nodded, left his card on the table, and said, "Come to this address tomorrow morning. Bring your best work." The next day, Emily showed up at the headquarters of Wallace & Company. Nervous but hopeful, she walked into the boardroom carrying a bag full of her pieces. When she opened it, the executives were unimpressed. But Richard stood, picked up her jacket, and turned to the room. "You're all blind," he said. "This isn't just fabric. This is grit. This is hunger. This is real design from someone who knows what struggle means. Emily doesn't need our charity, she needs a chance." And he gave her one. Richard offered Emily a full scholarship to the top design institute in New York, a paid internship at his company, and a quiet place to live, rent-free. Tears welled in Emily's eyes. "Why are you doing this for me?" she whispered. Richard smiled, his voice tight with emotion. "Because someone once did it for my mother, and I was too young to thank them. This is me saying thank you." Months passed. Emily's talent bloomed like wildflowers in spring. She launched her own collection, Sewn from Hope, inspired by her sleepless nights and patched-up dreams. Her first fashion show made headlines, not just for the clothes, but for her story. Richard sat in the front row, smiling like a proud father. And Emily? She walked down the runway, not as a struggling girl with blisters on her hands, but as a woman who proved that kindness could stitch broken lives back together.